Hello, welcome to Bird Noise, an Eagles fan podcast. I am your host, Dom Estes. Today, we will be previewing the Week 13 matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia High-Flying Eagles. This game is a rematch of the NFC Championship game from earlier this year. Two of the best teams in the NFL will be in this game, with the 49ers at 8-3 and the Eagles at 10-1. These two are very evenly matched. It is really going to be a coin toss as to who wins this game. The Niners' 3 losses came when Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams were injured. Deebo Samuel being one of their main wide receivers, very crucial in the run game, the passing game, big playmaker for the Niners. And then Trent Williams, that's their left tackle. Brock Purdy's blindside protector, very important to that offensive line. The Niners looked really bad during the 3 games that Deebo and Trent Williams were out. Lost every one of them, and Brock Purdy looked bad. The offense was off. It was very easy to see that how important Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams are to this team. Since the Niners got everybody back, it has been an entirely different story. They have really, really put beatings down on good teams. The offense for the Niners, it's just pick your poison at this point. If you take out the run game with Christian McCaffrey, then you still have the passing attack that they're going to get you with Kittle, Deebo, Brandon Ayuk. Who are you going to cover? If you double cover Deebo Samuel, George Kittle is going to get open. Same with if you cover Kittle, Ayuk or Deebo will get open. It's just pick your poison and hope for the best. The defense is outstanding. You've got Nick Bosa, Chase Young, thank you commies, Javon Hargrave, who the Eagles had last year, and he was very important for the 70 sacks that we had last year and the run to the Super Bowl. And he is a good player. You've got Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner. Unfortunately, Hufanga is out for this game. He's one of their top safeties this year. And yeah, it's gonna be rough for the Eagles going up against the Niners. It's one of the toughest matchups that the Eagles have had this year. And the road doesn't get easier for a few weeks for the Eagles. They've got the Seahawks right after this and then the Cowboys. So I think that if the Eagles want to hold on to the first seed, they do need to win this game. However, if the 49ers want a shot at the 1 seed, they have to win this game. And they have to pull the Eagles back within a game of the 1 seed. And then if the Eagles lose another game, the Niners have the tiebreaker. This game means a lot to both teams. For the 49ers, it means we've beaten the team that took out our quarterback in the NFC Championship game and kept us from the Super Bowl. For the Eagles, it means we've basically locked up the 1 seed if we win most of the next, if we win at least like 2 of the next 5 games. The Niners, though, have talked a lot of talk about beating the Eagles this week. And people need to put the past behind them, focus on this game, which the Eagles seem to be pretty good at putting the past behind them, looking at the game, making sure they know what they're going after, and winning. The Niners have 3 players questionable to play, with Ray McCloud, Eric Armstead, and Jordan Mason all being listed as questionable on their injury report. And then you have the Eagles, who this game is being played in Philadelphia, so the link will be rocking and rolling. And the Eagles are the first home team with a 10-1 record and a healthy starting QB to be underdogs. Now, back in 2017, the Eagles were the first playoff 1 seed to be underdogs at home just because they lost Carson Wentz, and good old Nick Foles came in, took care of business for us then. We gotta hope that the Eagles have the same mentality they had during the 2017 playoffs and get that W. In the now famous words of Jason Kelce, an underdog is a hungry dog. Unlike last week when Lane Johnson had to sit out with the groin injury. However, Fletcher Cox is now on the injury report and is questionable to play, along with Grant Calcaterra, and Dallas Goedert is doubtful to play with the injury he suffered against the Cowboys. I don't see him coming back this week. Maybe next week or the week after that, but I think it's too soon for this week. Fletcher Cox was injured in the Buffalo Bills game. He left in about midway through the second quarter, I believe. And, he didn't return for the rest of the game. So I don't know if we'll get to see good old 91 out on the field or not. But I hope so. He's a big, important part to that D-line. And really hopeful that Fletcher Cox gets back out on the field and he's good to go. These are my keys for an Eagles victory. The Eagles need to make sure that they show up on the first half of this game this week on both offense and defense. Generally, we've only had the defense showing up for the first half of games, and that has got to change immediately. Last year, the Eagles were the best team in the league in the second quarter, and we need to get back to that. But this year has been a completely different story. The Eagles have really struggled in the first half, and then they've just taken off in the second half. So they need to get back to getting points in the first half. You're going to have to with San Francisco. You cannot fall behind by double digits against the Niners this year and then expect to win. It's just not going to happen. So they need to make sure that they show up in the first half. Brian Johnson needs to get better at bringing out the good play calls earlier in the game. The fan base has been torn on Brian Johnson. I mean, we're winning games, so he's got some good stuff in there. It's just some of the play calls he pulls out in situations are head scratchers. Against Buffalo last week, I believe, we had a 3rd and 3, and we ran like a running back draw out of shotgun on 3rd and 3, and we lost 2 yards. And that puts you in a situation where you can't use the brotherly shove. You can't really go for it because it's down in distance. And so, we need to make sure that we stay in 3rd and short, 4th and short situations. Coach Sirianni said, every set of first downs is 1st and 9 with the brotherly shove just because it works 92% of the time. As much as you can argue that the brotherly shove is a bad play or not, it's not a bad play. It's not a rugby play, anything like that. Jordan Mailata has come out and said that it's not a rugby play. But it is a crucial part of this Eagles offense. It is. That's just the way the play works. We've perfected it, and so it's a crucial part. If you're on Madden and you find a play that nobody can stop, why would you change from using that play? You go to the same play until they stop it, and then you change it. And that's what the Eagles have done. They found their play, and that's a cheat code, and they run it, and nobody can stop it. Once they stop it, the Eagles will stop using it as much, but you have to be able to stop it. And so the Eagles are going to need to be in situations where they can use the brotherly shove and get moving on offense. The O-line and the D-line have to dominate the trenches this game. The O-line has to be able to protect Jalen Hurts. They've been doing a great job lately. However, this is a really, really good defense that we are facing. So, you have to be able to stop that D-line. Nick Bosa's good. Chase Young is good. Javon Hargrave is good. Armstead is good. Killaw is good. They have an amazing defensive line. The Eagles have to be able to protect Jalen Hurts and give him time to find the playmakers on offense. You have to get A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift, and Devontae Smith going early in the game. Get the run game going. Get the passing game going. Work them off of each other. You have to take the pressure off of Jalen Hurts. He's had a lot of pressure on him the past 2 weeks, being down 17-7 at half and coming back and winning that game. You have to keep that off of him. The D-line, you have to put pressure on Brock Purdy. You have to hurry him up. You have to win the battle on defense. Just please don't injure Brock Purdy this time. Please. So yeah, defense has to win their matchups. The O-line has to win their matchups. You have to get A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and DeAndre Swift involved in the game early and often. And you have to show up during the first half, which that's the one thing I'm worried about, the Eagles showing up in the first half for this game. And you have to make the good play calls and good decisions. And we should be able to get the win. But yeah, that is my preview for Week 13. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Feel free to subscribe. You don't have to. And as always, fly Eagles fly.